Most men think prostate problems come from age. But after 20 years of working with men over 60, I can tell you, that's not always true. In fact, I've met men in their 70s with strong, steady flow and perfect bladder control, and others in their 60s who struggle every night, waking up again and again, wondering what went wrong. The difference? It's often something so small, so ordinary that most doctors never even mention it. It's how you drink your water. I know that sounds almost unbelievable, but I've seen it over and over again in my practice. The timing, temperature, and amount of water you drink can quietly decide whether your prostate stays calm or stays swollen and irritated. And yes, even that embarrassing post-urination dribble can often be traced back to simple hydration habits you've been repeating for years without realizing. Hi, I'm Dr. Emily Parker. For more than 2 decades, I've helped men over 60 restore their vitality, improve their prostate health, and feel confident in their bodies again, naturally, without relying on harsh medications or complicated routines. And today, I want to share something I wish every man knew sooner: the right way to drink water, so your prostate can finally relax, your bladder can fully empty, and those constant nighttime trips to the bathroom can start to fade away. Because sometimes, healing isn't about adding more pills or supplements. It's about removing the silent habits that keep your body inflamed. So, stay with me until the end, because once you understand this, you'll never look at a simple glass of water the same way again. A few months ago, I met a patient named John. He's 67, retired, and like many men his age, he tries to take good care of himself. He walks every morning, eats mostly healthy, and makes sure to drink plenty of water, at least 8 glasses a day, just like he's always been told. But when John sat down in my office, he looked exhausted. He told me, "Dr. Parker, I'm up 4, sometimes 5 times a night. I drink water all day because I'm trying to be healthy, but I feel like my bladder never empties. And that dribbling, it's embarrassing." He wasn't angry, just tired. Tired of losing sleep. Tired of planning his day around bathroom breaks. Tired of feeling like his body was betraying him. Now, I hear this story all the time. And like so many men, John assumed his symptoms were just part of getting older. But when I asked him how he drank his water, not just how much, he looked at me with confusion. He said, "What do you mean how? I just fill up a big glass and chug it." That's when I smiled, because I knew exactly what was happening. You see, the prostate sits just below the bladder, like a small, sensitive gatekeeper for your urinary flow. When you flood your system with large amounts of water all at once, it puts sudden pressure on both your bladder and that little gland. Over time, that repeated pressure irritates the prostate, causes swelling, and makes the bladder hyperactive. And when that happens, even after you finish urinating, a small amount of urine stays trapped, leading to that frustrating dribble most men mistake for weak muscles. I told John something I tell every man I work with. It's not just about drinking water. It's about training your body to absorb it the right way. And when you learn that rhythm, everything starts to change. When I explain this to my patients, most of them are surprised that something as ordinary as water can influence something as complex as prostate health. But once you understand how your body actually handles fluids, it makes perfect sense. Your bladder is like a storage balloon. It fills gradually as your kidneys filter fluids from your blood, and it signals your brain when it's time to empty. Just below that balloon sits your prostate, a walnut-sized gland wrapped around the urethra, the same small tube that carries urine out of your body. When the prostate becomes swollen or inflamed, even slightly, that narrow passage tightens. Suddenly, the bladder has to push harder to release urine, which can cause straining, dribbling, and that constant feeling of never being completely empty. Now, here's where your water habits come in. If you drink large amounts of water all at once, especially after long periods of not drinking, you shock your system. The bladder fills too quickly, pressure builds, and the prostate reacts like a tense muscle. It swells and tightens. This happens silently, but over time, it creates irritation that keeps your prostate in a constant state of inflammation. On the other hand, if you don't drink enough water throughout the day, your urine becomes more concentrated, darker, thicker, and acidic. That concentrated urine irritates the bladder lining and prostate tissue like sandpaper. Many men assume they're helping themselves by cutting back on water to avoid frequent trips, but that actually makes things worse. So, the key isn't more water or less water. It's balanced hydration. You want a steady trickle, not a flood. Think of your body like a garden. If you dump a bucket of water on the soil once a day, the roots drown and the surface dries out quickly. But if you give it small sips consistently, the moisture spreads evenly and the plant thrives. Your bladder and prostate work in the same way. When the body receives water gradually, the bladder fills comfortably, the prostate stays relaxed, and urine flows smoothly. Over time, this reduces inflammation, allows the gland to shrink back to its normal size, and restores that easy, confident control most men haven't felt in years. It's not about perfection, it's about rhythm. The way you drink water teaches your prostate how to stay calm. So, let's talk about what it actually means to drink water the right way for your prostate. I'm going to share exactly how I teach my patients to hydrate, not just to stay healthy, but to help calm inflammation, improve bladder control, and reduce that frustrating dribble after urination. These are small, simple shifts, but when you do them consistently, your body begins to respond almost immediately. Let's start with the morning reset. When you wake up, your body is slightly dehydrated. During sleep, your kidneys have been filtering and your bladder has been quietly working, even while you rested. The very first glass of water you drink in the morning sets the tone for your hydration rhythm all day. I tell my patients to have one glass, just one, of room temperature water within the first 30 minutes after waking. Not ice cold, not boiling hot, room temperature.
Why?
Because cold water can shock your system and tighten your pelvic muscles, while very hot water can cause temporary vessel dilation that increases pressure. Gentle, balanced hydration signals your body to flush out toxins that have built up overnight, without overwhelming your bladder right at the start of the day. Now, here's the next key. Steady hydration through the day. Instead of gulping down a whole glass at once, think of your water as something you sip steadily. Every 45 to 60 minutes, take a few sips. That might sound too simple, but the difference it makes is incredible. When you give your body water in small, steady doses, your bladder stays comfortable. It fills and empties naturally without that sudden pressure that aggravates the prostate. The goal isn't to flood your system, it's to keep it gently nourished all day long. The third habit I teach is to stop water flooding after 7 p.m. This one surprises most men, but it's crucial. If you're constantly waking up at night to urinate, it's often because of how you hydrate in the evening. Drinking too much water, or even tea or soup, too close to bedtime makes your bladder work overtime while you're trying to rest. Your body naturally produces less antidiuretic hormone as you age, which means it's harder to hold urine overnight. So, after 7 p.m., shift from drinking full glasses to light sips only if you're thirsty. You'll still stay hydrated, but your bladder will finally get the chance to rest, and you'll sleep longer without interruption. Here's another powerful tip. Add a pinch of natural electrolytes. This is especially helpful for older men because as we age, our body's ability to absorb and retain fluids changes. Sometimes you might drink plenty of water, but it doesn't actually reach your cells effectively. A small pinch of Himalayan salt or a squeeze of lemon in your water can help improve absorption, balance minerals, and reduce fluid retention that causes swelling in the lower body. You don't need fancy supplements or sports drinks. Just a touch of natural minerals can make your hydration more effective and gentler on your prostate. And here's one more habit that often makes a huge difference, though most men never think about it. Your posture when you urinate. When your prostate is enlarged, the urethra can't fully open, which means some urine stays trapped behind. Over time, that leftover urine becomes a source of irritation and infection. For many men, simply sitting down to urinate, especially at night, can help the bladder empty more completely. It may feel unusual at first, but it relaxes the pelvic floor muscles and gives the prostate space to release pressure. I've seen countless patients who finally stopped experiencing post-urination dribble just by making this one small change. So, to summarize these 5 key steps. Start your day with one gentle glass of water. Sip slowly throughout the day instead of gulping. Ease up on fluids after 7 p.m. Add natural electrolytes for better absorption. And when you urinate, Allow your body to relax, don't rush, and if you can, try sitting down to help everything empty fully. When these habits become routine, something remarkable happens. The bladder regains its rhythm, the prostate begins to calm, and the nervous tension that once triggered irritation starts to fade. You might notice that your stream feels stronger, your nights become quieter, and that uncomfortable dribble after urination slowly disappears. Healing the prostate isn't about fighting your body, it's about working with it. These small, mindful shifts retrain your system to find balance again. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need any special tools, supplements, or expensive treatments. Just awareness, consistency, and a little patience. Because when you start drinking water the right way, you're not just hydrating. You're helping your body remember how to heal itself. Of course, drinking water the right way is only one part of the equation. The way you live, move, and nourish your body throughout the day quietly determines how your prostate behaves. So, once my patients master proper hydration, I always guide them toward a few simple habits that help those results last. Habits that support the prostate's natural healing process and make every glass of water work even better. The first one is movement. Sitting for long hours, whether at the computer, in front of the TV, or even while driving, can increase pelvic congestion. When you sit too long, blood flow to the lower abdomen slows down, and that leads to stiffness and swelling in the tissues surrounding the prostate. So, try to get up and stretch every 30 to 45 minutes. Even a short 2-minute walk around your home or garden keeps the circulation active and reduces that downward pressure that contributes to inflammation. I often tell my patients, your prostate loves movement. It doesn't need a gym or intense workouts, just consistent, gentle activity. Next, pay attention to the foods that either calm or irritate your prostate. Tomatoes, pumpkin seeds, and pomegranate juice are rich in antioxidants that help lower inflammation and support healthy testosterone metabolism. On the other hand, processed meats, excess dairy, and fried foods tend to feed inflammation and thicken the blood, making it harder for the prostate to get the nutrients it needs. You don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. Just begin by adding one prostate-friendly food each day and reducing one that's known to irritate. Over time, you'll notice the difference in how your body feels: lighter, more balanced, and more in control. Caffeine and alcohol are two other factors worth watching. Both can irritate the bladder and increase nighttime urgency. You don't have to eliminate them completely, but moderation makes a real difference. If you love your morning coffee, try to have it before noon and follow it with a glass of water to neutralize the dehydrating effect. And finally, let's not forget the mind-body connection. Chronic tension, worry, and stress can literally tighten the muscles around the pelvic floor, creating a constant grip that keeps your bladder and prostate on edge. Deep breathing, gentle stretching, and a few quiet moments of relaxation each day can release that hidden tension. When hydration, movement, nutrition, and calm breathing come together, your prostate begins to thrive, not because of anything external, but because your whole system is finally working in harmony again. When I think about all the men I've worked with over the years, there's one truth that always stands out. Your body is not broken. It's responsive. It listens. Every small change you make sends a message of healing. And when you begin treating something as simple as water with more awareness, your body starts to respond in ways that might surprise you. If you've been struggling with prostate discomfort, frequent urination, or that lingering dribble after you finish, please don't lose hope. The prostate is incredibly adaptive. It can calm down. It can shrink. It can heal. But it needs your partnership, not punishment, not frustration, but gentle, consistent care. And the good news is, it doesn't take anything complicated or expensive. Just mindfulness, patience, and a bit of trust in your body's natural wisdom. Start with what we talked about today. 1 glass of room temperature water in the morning. Small, steady sips through the day. Ease up after sunset. Add a pinch of minerals for balance. Sit down when you urinate to help your bladder empty completely. Move your body. Breathe deeply. Let your days flow, just like your water, calmly, rhythmically, without force. Remember, healing isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things with gentleness and intention. And sometimes the simplest choices, the ones you barely think about, are the ones that bring you back to balance. If this helped you understand your health a little better, I'm truly glad. Please like, share, and subscribe, not for me, but because every view helps more men over 60 learn that they still have the power to heal naturally. And tell me in the comments, what's one healthy habit that's made a difference for you? Your story might just inspire someone else to start their own healing journey. Because the smallest habits, when done with care, can lead to the greatest transformations.